Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. I want to make sure that the microphone is a bit closer today so that you guys could hear me just a little bit better, So I want to give a brief recap of what my day looked like. My days always start the night before, meaning what time did I go to bed? I admit, I went to bed at like 4 in the morning, proceeded to wake up around 9, so already way lower on sleep. When I woke up, I got dressed, got ready, and went and played some volleyball. I thought it was going to be much worse than it really was. I knew that I was going to be tired, or at least not at 100%. Last night, I was actually a little bit worried about it, but I decided to push through because I committed to going. And I do this thing for myself where when I feel like doing something weeks or months before an actual event, I will commit to going. I will schedule it with someone, or I will buy a ticket, set an appointment, whatever it has to be, in order to make sure that I'm locked in, that I can't as easily back out. I have a tendency to back out of the things that I'm able to back out of. So I stopped myself from doing that by applying myself early, and I went, and let me tell you, I reminded myself why I do this, why I sign myself up early, because it turned out to be an amazing day. An amazing session, one where I was very grateful to have made a new friend. I feel like making friends as an adult is a much different game than it is when you're just a kid. When you have school, you have these clubs that you're a part of, because at that time, you're around the same kids all the time, and the proximity creates friendship. Whereas when you become an adult, the people you're most in proximity with are the people you work with, and then your family, if you're living with them. And that's assuming you don't do anything else outside of work. And then add the cherry on top, for a lot of people, they don't like the people that they work with. So I'm not surprised when people tell me that they're feeling lonely. They don't have anyone to talk to. They don't like talking to people at work where they spend 40, 50, 60 hours, 70 hours a week, and they don't really have many people at home. Anyways, as an adult, going out and making friends is a very intentional game. You have to actually put yourself out there, meet people, make recommendations, make suggestions to link up, to pair up, to meet up another time, right? So I was really lucky in hearing that one of the guys there actually used to rock climb. I connected with him about rock climbing, and then with volleyball, and he was telling me he was moving, but he'd still be interested in playing and even maybe climbing again. And that just made me really happy to have that experience, because I almost didn't go. Imagine what it would be like if I didn't go. Well, I guess it's not that hard to imagine. It would just be my life 24 hours ago. So I gained something really special. Whether or not him and I meet up and hang out is not really the point right now. The point for me right now is that I need to keep teaching myself and to keep learning that I have to go out into the world to meet the people that I'm supposed to meet. Each of these times is like reinforcement. It just gets drilled in just a little deeper, Anyways, blah, 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 blah. I came home from volleyball after that good day, took a shower, had a scheduled phone call that was supposed to be about 30 minutes, turned into an hour and 15. Sorry, brother, for that one. That one's on me. I yap a lot. So we had that phone call. It was incredible. Got off the call, did my planning for the entire week. I now have a very clear idea of what Monday through next Sunday is going to look like in terms of action steps that I want to take. There's a lot of room for things to get thrown in, for things to get moved around, and that's the point of this planning. It's not to have every minute planned out, but it's to have the most important things planned out and an idea of just where they're going, when they're going to happen. So I finished all that, got super tired because I was low on sleep, and I played volleyball for 2.5 hours and then had a meeting. So all of that pretty much landed me into a nap, a beautiful nap. Like when I say this nap was incredible, like it was one of those where you wake up and you forget what realm you're in. If realms even exist, however they exist, you pretty much just lose all connection to reality just for that brief moment of waking up. And the reason I bring all of this up is because I had quite an interesting experience in a dream. Within that dream, I had some interesting people pop up. I don't always remember my dreams, but for some reason, there's key points that I remember this time. For starters, the setting was almost like a real life MMORPG kind of thing. It was as if a company took over an entire community, right? They bought all the houses, left them all fully furnished, and you had missions and challenges to do, and you actually had to like run around, and it was almost like also laser tag. Like you had guns, but it's real life, like, but like you couldn't like kill anybody. Some interesting stuff, right? I was very much there for it. And I had this group, I had this party that I was with, and within this group there was this very, you guys don't see this through the editing, but I'm pausing really hard because I am really questioning why I'm bringing this up, because I'm a little embarrassed, honestly. But you know what? I'm going to be real. I'm going to be authentic and share with you what's going on in this noggin of mine. So with that being said, a little grace, a little love. I appreciate you. I love you. And let's carry on. I had this dream. I was in this world, and there's this Easter egg going on that involved locating a lock and a key. And this key was on a flash drive, and this lock was kind of a flash drive. It was like a weird thing. It was basically where the flash drive plugs into this little box. And the whole mission, the whole thing was to try to get this lock unlocked, right? Like it created something. And so within my party, there's a bunch of us. And specifically, I remember this girl. Of course, it's going to be a girl that I remember. I don't remember her name. I don't remember who she was. But I remember a few key details. I remember a little bit how she looked. She had medium-length blonde hair, liked to keep it up. She had this fair white skin. But I remember more about how she treated herself and how she handled herself and how she was super kind and caring and gentle, but also strong and powerful. That's why it really caught my attention, because I realized someone like that, at least in the way that I saw it, with all the things that I'm not naming, was very rare to me, at least in my life. And I was definitely very fond of her. There was definitely connection and love there. And there's this moment that happened where she went off with one of our other party members, a friend of ours, and next thing you know, starts getting harassed and attacked. And, you know, there was this moment where, as she was walking away, I genuinely thought she was going to betray me. I thought she was going to give the lock and key away and work with someone else, and she didn't. Instead, she got harassed for the lock, but didn't give it up, because she was committed to solving it with me, right? And I'm kind of doing a dream dive right now to try to figure out what this means for me. And I remember waking up, and the reason that all of this stuck with me, the reason that all of this was actually important to me, was because I had this really strong, really overwhelming feeling that this person wasn't just real, they were coming, right? And that might sound borderline psychotic to say. It's not to say that type of person with those characteristics is real, because I wasn't thinking up anything that was impossible. It was just something that I found rare. And I got this feeling that it wasn't just a crush that I had, because I've had dreams where I woke up and I was like, haha, like I got a crush on that girl, that's crazy. And then I think nothing of it, right? I forget about the details and the dream just slips and fades away. But for some reason, this one was less, I wish I had that, and more, I want that and it's coming. And I do hesitate to say all this because it is very vulnerable to talk about. It's very real to say, because in our dreams, we don't hold back. We don't who we are or what we truly want. Like, they show up in different ways. They manifest in different ways. But in reality, our dreams are going to be situations of things that we want, things we desire, things that we're afraid of, right? It's like a very real view into our subconscious and what we truly believe. And I've had so many dreams in the past of that type of situation, of like being with a girl, but then she does betray me, right? And when I look back on that, I see this pain. I see this pain that I had within me, and I don't know where it really came from, but I know it was a fear that I had. It was a representation of, I was afraid of someone hurting me, leaving me, telling me they loved me, but then not, right? So when something like this happens, such a drastic shift in the theme and the pattern of what happens, right? What actions take place, a bright light pops up, like a signal flare that says like, hey, look at this. Like, that's important to note. And it was that feeling combined with the it's coming for me to honestly want to believe it. Because there's a lot of similarity between faith and fear. I think about faith and fear and how similar and different they are. The thing about faith and fear is they're both not real. Like, it's not reality. They're both a belief that we have. It's just in which direction are we believing? Like, do we believe that something will happen, that something will work out? Or do we believe that it won't? Both of which are beliefs, and we get to choose which one we predominantly think of. So I could sit here and have this type of dream and be afraid that I will never feel something like that. Or I can sit here and have faith that something like that will come into my life. In this present moment, nothing changes by having one view or the other. But over time, my reactions and my behaviors will be different having those two viewpoints. If I'm always afraid of being hurt and losing someone, I may never get into new friendships or new relationships. But if I have faith that every single relationship and friendship is leading me to more and more better experiences, even if I have to say goodbye every once in a while, if I have faith that I'm being led to where I need to go, then I'm more likely to follow that path with my chest and my chin held high and a smile on my face. So I share this with full faith, really. And you may call me crazy, you may call me silly, you may call me any other names. But the thing about faith is, when it comes to you and your dreams and what you believe in, no one needs to believe what you do except for you. So long as you continue to believe, it's real. I wrote a lot of this down in my journal before starting to record, and I pretty much wrote it down for the purpose of almost priming my brain to look out for it. I was priming my brain, or you could even call it manifesting or anything like that. But the way our brains work is we focus on patterns, different numbers or phrases or ideas or pictures. And the more we focus on it, the more we see it. You can train yourself to do this with everyday objects. Like if you've ever had the experience of buying a new car or getting a new phone, and all of a sudden you see it everywhere else, you see every other person having it. It's not that more people got it. It's that a lot of those things were always there. You just now trained your brain to notice it. That's how manifesting and that's how prayer really work. When you pray for something to happen and truly believe that it'll happen, you're training your brain to look out for it and to even create it, or to look out for the steps to get what you want. In this way, I was kind of priming myself to look out for this, to create this, to manifest this. And that's also why I'm talking about it now, because the more I talk about it, the more I say it, the more I see it in my head, in my mind, in my visions, the more I'm training myself to see it out in the real world and to create it. The world that I experienced in that dream is just that. It's a dream. It's not reality. But there's a lot of reality within a dream. Yeah, you may not be able to physically fly in the real world, but you can taste freedom. You can taste joy and excitement that you get from flying around in the dream world. When I woke up, I told myself, Philip, that wasn't real. That was just a dream. But then I said something really important to myself, and it's that it may have been a dream, but the emotions were real. I felt happiness. I felt love. I felt connection. I felt anticipation. I felt fear. I felt relief. I felt gratitude. And that's just the way our minds work. Our minds can't tell the difference between dreams, visions, and reality. It's why you can watch a horror movie and be genuinely scared. You know in reality it's not real, but you're able to put yourself in the movie and feel those emotions. Just because it's not real doesn't mean the emotions aren't real. In the same way you could watch a romantic comedy and get super giddy when they're about to kiss or whatever anticipatory event is about to happen. Emotions are real. They're powerful, and they're what drive us forward. The good emotions pull us forward, and the bad emotions push us forward, actually. So, although this was all just a dream, I really did connect with it. I really connected with the emotion, and not in a way of I want to keep sleeping to keep feeling it. I woke up determined to make it happen in real life, in reality, knowing that if I can dream it, if I can see it, I can make it happen. So I thank you for giving me this space to share and to be vulnerable. When I was first starting, it was honestly hard to bring it up because I get very nervous talking about liking girls, wanting a girlfriend. For whatever reason, it makes me anxious to talk about. But I know that the only way through that anxiety, through those fears is to do it more, to talk about it more, to embrace it more. And eventually it'll be like second nature. I won't be afraid. Whenever I feel uncomfortable and I do something anyways, I know I'm doing the right thing because I'm growing. I'm not the same person that I was before. So, all in all, I made a friend today. I had a great day, had a wonderful dream, and I'm more committed now than ever before to create the life that I'm trying to create. I focus on these videos so much because it's one of my outlets for creating. And I know that this is the path. This is where I have to go to build, to start. On my call earlier today, my friend described my content journey and my YouTube channel as planting an apple tree, and that many years will go by when you plant an apple tree before it grows large enough to have its first fruit. But once it starts growing fruit, you just have to take regular maintenance of it and it'll keep bearing fruit every single year. That's how this channel is going to be for me. I'm building it up now. I'm growing it. I've planted the seeds already, and now I just give it maintenance. Eventually, it'll grow big enough to have fruits to harvest, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to give up because there's no fruits now. I'm going to have faith that the fruits are going to come later. So once again, I'm actually really happy that you're here. I'm really enjoying making these videos lately, these past few days. I feel like I'm more driven and more connected with you and with creating, and I'm excited to see in what direction all of this goes in. So I hope you have a remarkable rest of your day, one where you let yourself dream a little and feel those very real emotions that comes with it. Just remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you and anyone else you bring in the next one. I love you.